we're going to just do the 4-7-8 breathing technique, and then we'll get started. So let's press that. Oh, guys, by the way, you can just watch this first time, but I do encourage you to look up the 4-7-8 breathing technique online. And my students love it. They sometimes teach each other, um, tell each other they need to do this because it helps in a number of different ways. It helps with the anxiety. It helps relax us. For me, it's just a nice transition. Um, all right, so here we go. Oh, and basically the way it works is that you breathe in through your nostrils to the count of 4, you hold for the count of 7, and you breathe out through your mouth with the whooshing sound to the count of 8. And you do this 4 times. And if you really are serious about this, the way that it's actually done with the tip of the tongue to the roof, to the rigid tissue above the teeth, up here, and you just do it that way, and you kind of hold that throughout the whole exercise, and that completes the energy cycle. So, all right, we'll get started with this. Okay, great. Okay, jumping right along here. And do you guys mind if we just go a couple minutes late today? Like 5?
Yes,
Okay
that's
with that?
fine.
Okay, no worries. All right, inform, explain, define. So today is going to kick off a 4-week cycle of inform and explain. Now, I thought about this a lot. And so in inform and explain, it's going to set us up for the most complex writing that we have out of the 6. And the 6, you may not be familiar with, but they are in a book called Write Like This by Kelly Gallagher. And so I have been to his trainings and I have his permission to use his materials, but these are practical writing types of writing that you are going to need regardless, of whether or not you become an English major, write a book, an article, or even go to college, right? So in inform and explain, the writer states a main point and purpose and tries to present the information in a surprising way. Okay. All right. Gratitudes and wins. We're going to skip that just so that, well, let's go for that real fast. So, what's something that, what's a win, small or big, that you experienced today, or something that you're grateful for? So I'll kick us off. Basically, there's a man that I work with in school, and it's nice to be able to talk to him and collaborate. And so I'm very grateful for that. So it gives me a feeling of comfort knowing that also if I have questions on things, I can go to him. Right. All right. Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
So my chemistry teacher graded my quiz that we took like last week, and I got 100, so I'm happy about that.
Right on. It's exciting. Okay, Adi, I know you're just ready to
Uh
blurt it out.
oh. I edited the writing thing we were doing from last week and I was able to like get it like down 200, 300 words.
Wow. Well, I want to hear more about that later. That's awesome. So that suggestion really worked for you?
Yeah.
Do you feel it made you a sharper writer?
I think so.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. We'll say more about that. I used to write articles for a paper locally, and I was publishing these things in 1,500 words, and then the editor said, make it 500 words, otherwise we can't put it in the print edition. And so I did, and it was amazing because at first I was like, no, everything's important. But we don't want to confuse our those moments in time that we're capturing, meaning whatever we wrote, with ourselves, right? So we should separate ourselves from our writing, and then it becomes easier. But it does take time, right? Anyone else? Izzy?
I'm grateful that the hurricane passed and we're not dealing with the hurricane anymore in Florida. So I'm very grateful for that.
That is awesome. And Archie here is also from Florida. So, in fact, she lives just down the street from what I, no, just kidding. Um, all right. Well, I'm very grateful for that as well. Um, I'm not going to read this whole thing here. You can read it if you want, but basically, this here is our expectations basically are you can go further with a community than you can on your own. And if you've ever studied climbing Mount Everest, you know that there's no one who can climb that mountain on their own, right? And oftentimes it's just that moral support that you get from others, and also you need guidance as well. But you guys are able to guide one another, and you guys have done that so well, Adi and Israel. So we are here in an interdependent community. Okay, and so I love this because students learn better, I think, from one another, and they also learn from a teacher as well. Um, Community expectations. I really don't spend a lot of time with this, only because I think that you guys, from little I know about you guys, you really get this. Be respectful in these sessions. Be ready, and you guys are excellent at that. Having your equipment fully charged, everything working. That's great. Um, you know, we want to keep distractions to a minimum, and I haven't seen anything there. And so it seems like you guys understand the importance of that. So don't really need to worry about that. Participation, do your work, contribute, and ask questions during each session. Be honest if something is not clicking, or it's just not hitting you right, to where you just don't see the point of it. Just be sure to say something, and then regulate, follow all directions and expectations. So great, let's move right along. So today's objectives are, and I'm going to move you guys a little bit from side to side here. Understand the process of brainstorming and developing ideas for writing. And so in the Google Classroom, you're going to see some tools for you to capture ideas. Read and consider mentor texts in order to become more skilled and inspired writers. A mentor text basically is a text that we can emulate, but you don't have to really. A mentor text doesn't necessarily have to be something better than what you can write. You might look at it and say, you know what, I don't think I would do that. I don't think I would do that. I wouldn't do that for sure. And then it can help us to solidify what we do want to see in a given piece of writing that we're going to produce. All right, mentor texts, they will help us to be successful in a writing assignment. So you're going to be given a writing assignment today. We're not going to spend a lot of time with that. In fact, you're going to really read that on your own for homework. And I suggest 30 to 60 minutes of homework for each session that we have together. So, either 30 minutes, 60 minutes tonight. I doubt it. Probably tomorrow is better for you. What I would suggest, by the way, oh yeah, I'll get more into that a little bit later because there's some suggestions I actually have for that. The assignment is due in 4 weeks. But I really wholeheartedly believe that you begin with the end in mind, and that's what we're going to do. So you're going to know exactly what kind of writing assignment starting today, but we're going to work on it progressively through these weeks and through these sessions so that you are successful. Each week we will work through the 6 stages of the writing process. And today will be stage 1, which is pre-writing. All right. Ideas, basically expectation for the idea journal. You will find that in Google Classroom, and you'll fill it during and after the sessions. I also encourage you, if it works better for you, to have a notepad. You know, if you want to keep ideas there, keep it handy during the sessions. If you know how to do a split screen, that's going to be very valuable because you can be jotting down ideas in your idea journal while you're with us in the sessions. So idea generation is super important, and not enough time is spent with ideas. So you'll see that the more we discuss things, the more that you're doing little informal writing or exploring things through brainstorming or just filling out your idea journal throughout the week, the better. There's another version of idea journaling that some of you probably have already seen, the reading adventure journal that I created, but it's a comprehensive reading journal. Not saying that it has everything in it that you would need to become a good reader, but probably the most important stuff like making predictions, asking questions, making connections. And you will find that if you use this in your regular high school class, you're going to do much better. You're gonna write much better. Found in the resources of Google Classroom. All right, so I'm going to spend about 10 minutes or less reading a mentor text. This mentor text uses sarcasm to explain what not to do in a particular role or situation. This is also known as inverted thinking, which can help you to pinpoint all details for how to make something better by first using the brain's propensity to think in the negative. So you and I, our brains catastrophize. This is why people tend to worry and have anxiety, because the brain is going, this might happen, that might happen. So we're going to use that to our advantage. And then you're going to see later on, you're going to flip that negative list that you create, because today you're going to create a negative list. You're going to flip it, because I don't want you to walk away from here thinking, oh, what did I learn today? How not to do something. Not too helpful, right? So the brain is a survival organ, and it supplies ideas this way. All right. So the first mentor text is found on page 65 in this book, and it starts with the frame "dear newly minted," meaning when somebody becomes a new teacher, a new professional basketball player, and so on and so forth, a new parent. Newly minted means you're fresh, and now we're going to give you some advice. So, all right. Let's share that, and we're going to go to our classroom and make sure I'm logged in correctly. Okay, great. Oops. Okay. There's our writing assignment. There's Monday. And we have our session workspace, which let me just release that to you now. This is the place where you and I are going to write. So you guys will have a chance to write today, just as you see me writing. And okay, we're going to keep that there. Yeah, it's being kind of difficult. So here we go. Okay. And here we are here. Okay. I think this came from a book. This is for some professional basketball players, and weighed down by too much cash. So it's kind of sarcastic here. By Rick Riley. Congrats, newly minted NBA rookie. Now you've been drafted. Next comes the delicious multi-million-dollar contract, and that's when you must do what most NBA players do. Start going through cash like Jack Black through the Keebler factory. Filing for bankruptcy is a long-standing tradition for NBA players, 60% of whom, according to the Toronto Star, are are broke 5 years after they retire. The other 40% deliver the Toronto Star. Notice the sarcasm here. It's not just NBA players who have the fiscal sense of the Taco Bell Chihuahua. All kinds of athletes wind up with nothing but lint in their pockets. And if everyone from Johnny Unitas to Cheryl Swoops to Lawrence Taylor can do it, so can you. With my How to Go Bankrupt DVD series, it's a layup to go belly up. 10 essentials just to get you started. Number one, screw up, deny it, then fight by using every lawyer and dime you have. Roger Clemens just sold his Bentley reportedly to pay legal bills. Marion Jones lawyered himself broke before she finally copped and went to prison. Paging Mr. Bonds, Mr. Barry Bonds. Two, buy a house the size of Delaware. Evander Holyfield was in danger of losing his 54,000 square foot pad outside Atlanta, and it's a shame. He had almost visited all 109 rooms. Three, buy many, many cars. Baseball slugger Jack Clark had 18 cars and owed money on 17 when he went broke. And don't get just boring Porsches and Mercedes. Go for a Maybachs. They sell for as much as $375,000, even though they look like Chrysler 300s, and nobody will ever know how to pronounce them, much less fix them. Buy a jet. They burn money like the Pentagon. Do you realize it costs $50,000 just to fix a windshield on one? Scottie Pippen borrowed $4.375 million to buy some wings and spent God knows how much more for insurance, pilots, and fuel. Finally, his wallet cried uncle. The courts say he still owes $5 million, including interest. See you in court, Scotty. For that matter, why not a yacht? Latrell Sprewell put his 70-foot Italian-made yacht tied up in storage until the bank repossessed it in August 2007. He probably sat at home and cried about that until the bank foreclosed on his house this past May. All right, you can see here that um, I have spent stupid money on other really stupid stuff. Number 6, hire an agent who sniffs a lot and is constantly checking the scores on his BlackBerry. 7, sign over power of attorney. 8, make sure the checks will never stop. 9, just ball. 10, most of all, set up a huge support system around you. Let me just read one of these just to round this out. It'll be years before you'll realize they call it a support system because you're the only one supporting it. They're all on full ride scholarships at the University of U. Guys go broke because they surround themselves with people who help them go broke, says ex-NBA center Danny Shays, who now runs No Limits Investing in Phoenix. I know all-time NBA top 50 guys who sold their trophies to recover. See, kid, you can be a top 50 guy. So order my How to Go Bankrupt series now and get this empty refrigerator box to sleep in absolutely free. Only $1,449 plus shipping, handling, service fee, dealer prep, and undercoating per month. Okay. So let me ask you guys. I'm going to write for a few minutes here, and I want to ask you, first of all, what did you notice or wonder about the way this was written here? Weighed down by too much cash. First of all, do you think this is based in reality?
Most definitely.
Okay. Yeah, there's a serious undertone here. You know how people spend money. Anything else?
It kind of only talks about like one set of type of people, athletes.
Okay. He talks about one set of people, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna write either about newly minted I wrote this down, newly minted chef or newly minted lottery winner. So which of these two? Chef, vote one, show me one finger, or lottery winner, show me two fingers. Lottery. Okay, and Izzy, how do you vote? Okay, here we go. Dear newly minted. So what I'm doing now is I'm basically modeling this for you guys. And as I struggle or stumble with ideas, I want you to take note. Okay. And this is kind of like how we've been doing these last 5 weeks. And so congratulations. I heard. No, I saw you on the news cutting the ribbon on your new school for recovering lottery winners. I am jealous, but I wanted to give you some advice in order to make sure you return to a normal life as soon as possible. Now, okay, this is the loaded word, a normal life, basically losing the money, right? In fact, if you follow my advice, you can go beyond normal and straight to the poorhouse. In other words, you can be not only I know I misspelled that, I don't care, president of your school, you can be a customer, be one of its most successful students. All right. If you guys want to interact a little bit, that's fine. So I would ask you, what are some things that you don't want to do? Let's get started. So I'm going to number this just like the model. All right. I would say buy the biggest boat you can find, especially if you are not planning to use it. The rental fees are enormous for docks of Florida or California. While you're at it, hire a transporter to bring the boat to one of these amazing coasts. Okay, I'm thinking now something with finances. So what's the quickest way to lose money if you have it in a
Uh,
bank?
you can put your money into put your money into bad investments.
Okay, great. Okay. Invest your money so it can shrink. Don't study the market and be sure to buy stocks when they are priced high. Sell your holdings when they are low. This way, if you invested $400 per share of, now what's something that is not really in demand right now? Share of, so here I'm a little bit stuck, right? So I'm thinking of energies that are not really being used. Gasoline is still being used. So for, nuclear energy stocks, if you invested $400 per share of nuclear energy stocks, you can sell them when they are at $20 per share. Okay. Now, what happens to lottery winners? Like, who comes to lottery winners as soon as they find out that they won?
Relatives.
Relatives. Yeah. And so, what do most lottery winners do? Because
They would
relatives will ask, yeah. What's that?
they would probably spend it on vacation with their family.
Okay, great. Take. Okay, that's a different idea. So many ideas are coming at me at once, right? So I'm going to put a placeholder here. This is a new trick I learned, by the way, TK. I'll talk about that later. But then Adi mentioned support all of your relatives. Now, okay, let's kind of be kind of specific here and kind of funny. Dr. Phil might say that many relatives are untrustworthy. That some could be bank robbers, and that some may impersonate a relative. But who cares? When someone writes you that and says, I know we have never met, but although I live in Portugal. I did a DNA test, and you are my twin brother. Okay, I'm exaggerating, obviously. Send them a cool million. All right, I'm gonna you get the idea here. Instead of doing 10 of these, I did 4, and then I wanna close this out. So now I'm gonna look at this model up here. And it does mention buying the DVD series, so I'm gonna copy that. So how to I don't want to copy it too much. How does it start? All right. Oh yeah, I need to do this. What? But one word of caution. You see how I am helping you. Advice this great doesn't come free. So, in addition to the DVD series, which is on special price inflation, hurry. Okay, wait a minute. Of what is it? Price inflation, price increase of 200%. Please do not forget to send me you're right, 1 million. Right, there we go. All right, as you can see, as you might imagine, advice this great, this good, as you might imagine, I have to. Oh yeah, returning to normalcy or oh wait a minute. How to get your poor life back. Okay, I know I've got misspellings there. I'm trying to get this done as quickly as possible. Um, Okay. Now, obviously, you can look at this and, we're writing in a surprising way. I can, okay, take a vacation on your boat and take the neighborhood. Go to countries where you do not know the language and convert your money at the closest dark alley. This way you can lose money. All right. I can obviously, and I'm going to only spend like 30 seconds on this last part. What I could do and what we will do is I can turn these negatives into positives, right? And this is the magic of inverted thinking. Buy the biggest boat you can find, especially if you're not used to it, not planning to use it. Okay, and I would say to flip that, avoid buying frivolous possessions, especially those that decrease in value or have a large financial upkeep. And an easier one, obviously, would be invest your money so it can shrink. An even better one, I can say avoid financial advisors. They will only teach you to grow your money. Right. So the first thing I would do there is I would hire a financial advisor, right? I would avoid taking mail messages from people that claim to be my relatives. All right, you get the idea here. So we're going to see. It's going to be your turn to do this at this point. Let's see if we have any thoughts here. So here's a summary of what you're going to do here. Step one, students will generate ideas for Dear Newly Minted for about, oh, let's see, this is a 20-minute portion here. And that would put us at 8:34. So we're not going to spend too much time generating ideas, spend like a couple minutes. And in fact, um, we'll spend 2 minutes generating ideas. So just jot something down. Um, my advice is to come up, you always want to come up with more ideas than you think you can use because there is power in choice. Really important. Um, so I would try to come up with 5 different ideas. I came up with 10 earlier and I narrowed them down to 2. And you guys helped me decide that. So come up with 5 different dearly new minted parent. I think I actually have some ideas for you. So it could be a new student, new parent, new boyfriend, new girlfriend. Okay, so think about some of these. I thought I had written them down. Newly minted babysitter, newly minted fast food worker, newly minted high school student, newly minted brother or sister, newly minted internist. Okay. Newly minted mentor. All right. So take a couple minutes now, and then when when you're done choosing, put a thumb up. And then what you're going to do after that, now you're going to write in this shared space. By the way, I need to get my, let me get my cord before we get knocked off here. But you're going to go into the Google Classroom. And if you want, I can put the link in the chat. You're going to go into our workspace, and then each of you has a space that you can write in. So let me put this in the chat. Okay, right there. And then you're going to find, in fact, I'm just going to give you the link to the shared workspace. That'll be much faster. And then find the space where it has your name. Yeah, avoid this box right here, by the way, because it's kind of weird. I don't want it to be kind of like 4 boxes together. So we're going to delete that. So do you have your space right there? And that space will expand. Archie, you have yours, and Izzy as well. So,
I don't really have
all right,
access to
what's that?
write. I don't have access to write on it.
You don't have access to,
I don't either. Yeah.
Same here.
okay, got it. Right, let me get my cord. Okay, here's what I'll do. Google Classroom and Sessions Workspace. Okay, I thought it was automatically shared, so forgive me for that. I'm gonna go Archie. This is weird. Hold on a second. Yeah, it's not sharing it. It looks like you guys are in the, is that because you're not viewers? Okay, this is what I'll do. Um, anyone with the link, and then you can become an editor. Okay, see if it works now.
Yeah, it works now.
Okay, great. All right, so thumbs up if you have an idea what you want to write about. Okay, great. You can go ahead and start yours, and then the rest of you, let's say that at 8:21, you want to start writing. So a couple minutes to, well, looks like a minute and a half to think of something. All right, let me put this in the chat. Some different ideas here. Newly minted high school student, athlete. All right, if you look in the chat, there are a couple of ideas there. Looks like Izzy, you're busy at the races. You're started. Okay.
Wait, are we just listing ideas or are we trying to expand the idea?
You can actually begin to write. Yeah, you can actually start. So you want to start with an introduction and look at the
Yeah, I
if
saw
you
that.
if you want, yeah, you can look at the model as well.
Yeah, yeah, I looked at that one. So I'm gonna like base. All right, thanks.
Okay. And then Izzy, in about a minute, you want to actually select one of these and Wow, newly minted president. All right, so Archie, you want to choose one of those unless you have another idea.
So you said the document was on Google Classroom? Like,
Yeah. Are
okay.
you not seeing it?
I'm looking for it. Is it,
Okay.
it's,
It's in the chat.
I can see that you're in the document. It's called Sessions Workspace.
okay.
Yeah. I'll put it in the chat again. Let me see here. Okay, there's my bar. It's missing the bar. Okay. And if you actually scroll down to like the third or fourth page, you will actually let's see, page. Yeah, scroll down to page 5.
Yeah, I got it
Yeah.
now.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna step aside for a quick minute or so. Okay. So I it looks like you guys are going straight for the positive advice, but what you want to do is show them how not to be successful. So think of all the things that they would do, like to be a bad president, you would not want to listen to, yeah, exactly. Make sure you don't listen to um, your constituents, right? Make sure you don't surround yourself with advisors, but just kind of roll the dice. Um, Newly minted writer. Yeah. Yeah, and you want to elaborate on that too. Right, let me see. Yeah, good job on the sarcasm there, Adi.
Thanks.
That's good, Adi. I mean, Archie. So a good way to not deal with that is to either not write. And then newly minted president, the new Catholic country. Oh my gosh. Wow. I would even say, Izzy, that you can knock off a lot of problems with a nuclear bomb, right? Global warming, well, now it's global like catastrophe. All right. How about we stop writing at 8:31, if that's possible? And I'm going to give you guys a little tip. The best way to come back to something that you're writing on one day is to write like half a sentence and leave the rest of the sentence undone, and then you can pick right back up on the next time. So that might be a good way to stop. Okay, we'll do a countdown for 2 minutes. I'll give you a little bit of extra time. Okay. Okay, timer's going to go off. So we have about 10 seconds. Okay, let's shift gears for a minute. And this is so much like real life, isn't it? In the classroom. And things do come up. So I have a couple pointers here for you. So I want to talk about the assignment and show you where to find it. I also want to commend you guys for really jumping in there. And it seems like once you get started, there's a nice flow to things. And so you can feel free to look at the other students and what they've done. But one of the things that you might consider, um, and especially, well, all of you, and myself included, when you sit down to do a write like this, one of the things I'm going to teach you guys is how to be more confident when you're faced with timed writes. And one of the tricks that has made me just excel at that, and I've had teachers come to me after the exam and ask me, how did I do it so well? I've had that in two occasions, two different professors. And so what you do is when you first come up with the prompt and you realize what the assignment is. In this case, it's to write a sarcastic letter. And then at the point that you've come up with your idea, which in this fact, lottery winner, new writer, new president, new car owner, immediately what you want to do is get yourself started there. But at a point which you feel confident, you immediately shift gears and start to brainstorm. Start to write down some ideas. Um, you might even plan. Now, I know it's kind of like I'm shooting this advice at you. Don't worry, I show you how to do this, right? And we've done that with the previous 5 weeks where we use different thinking maps. And so you're going to learn some of the thinking maps. There are 8 thinking maps, and there's one for a cause and effect. There's one for telling a story, which is a flow map. There is one for brainstorming. There's one for categorizing, which is a tree map. There's 8 different maps that match different text styles. This will also improve your reading as well. Okay, so what I would have, so what you could have done, and I'll just use Archie, yours as an example. And did I misspell your name? Is there should be an E there, right? Afterwards, after the I?
It's okay. You don't
Okay.
have to.
I just noticed that. So what you could do is um, when you visualize a writer, a published writer, you want to take a few seconds to visualize that writer and think about painting a picture in your mind of a disaster happening with the writer. Once you have that mental picture in your mind, you're going to come up with a lot of ideas. And immediately, as soon as you see the idea, I want you to do this. And don't worry, I'll erase this. Um, I mean, I'm looking at a writer right now. I could totally see this writer in my mind. Eat as you write. It will deplete your energy. Okay, and notice what else? Have a messy workspace. Now notice, now I can come back to what I'm doing here, right? Because that's where my mind is focused. Now, I could have also brainstormed before even beginning with any of these in detail. And you can see that as she finishes this one, it's almost like she left herself a popcorn trail of ideas. She doesn't have to think. And so basically, she's done her work ahead of time. And it's helpful to be able to see these different main ideas or these categories that you want to include before you actually write them. So let me just erase this. Unless you want me to keep that there for free. You know, I can keep it there for free if you want. I'll let you erase it. How's that? Is that a deal? Okay.
Totally.
Yeah. I just pictured in my mind this overly obese writer who's like eating at the same time and had this small workspace. So yeah. And then remember, takeaway here, see the end in mind. That's what helps writers to become very this kills any kind of like, oh, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do here. You get a vision of what you want it to look like in the end. And again, I'll say more about that later. So I know I'm keeping just another couple minutes. What you are going to do is you're going to look at, you can peek at the writing assignment, but you don't have to really decide today what that's going to be. Oh yeah, I had the ideas here the whole time. Look at this page in particular here. So let's do this. For homework, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record you guys a video. Okay, I'm going to record after the session is over, and that video will be about 5 minutes or less, and that will direct you what to do tonight or tomorrow. Okay, it'll take you through some of these slides, and then I'll try to manage our time a little bit better next time, so that we're ending right on time, and then we'll go from there. Right before we go, though, what's one thing that you noticed today, or one thing you wondered, or one thing that was useful? Let's make it even simpler than that. A comment you have about something that was useful, or a question that you have.
Something that was useful for me was the original model of the actual book, since it like gave me a good frame of what I should be doing.
Are you talking about the mentor text about the basketball players losing money?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I agree with Adi as well. That definitely helped me. Writing and stuff. That definitely helped me like guide myself and know what to do and know how to write it out. So I definitely agree with Adi.
Did it help when I modeled the writing myself, or is it more
Yeah, that
helpful
as
to
well.
see? Okay.
Yeah, it was. I would definitely say it was more helpful when you did it. So that way it can show me how I should write my stuff out. So it was definitely more helpful that way as well.
Right.
So what I found helpful was the act of you when you came up with an idea after, like as you were writing something, you could you could write it and then come back to it later. So
All right. Yeah. Popcorn trail. I just made that up. Popcorn trail. Okay, great. Thank you guys. So, any questions before I let you go? Again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a video, and I'm going to post it up in the Google Classroom. I'll also email you the link, and then basically the homework is just to look at the writing assignment. That's all. Read through it, because you guys, we're gonna have choices as a class. You're gonna have, as you can see here, there are going to be, I think, 5 or 6 different things you can write about. Okay. So that way you're not stuck. And, but I think there may be some pros and cons to that. So maybe we can vote as a class which one we want to focus on. That way you can kind of see how others are handling the same writing assignment. Okay. So you don't have to really do any writing. I mean, you can certainly finish. Anyway, I'm rambling on. That's why I want to record the video so I can just let you go. And then the one tip I would say, if it helps you when you do homework, why not do it at the same time the following day, right? So Tuesday at 7:30 might be a good suggestion, or maybe the morning works better for you. Just an idea. Okay. Right. Thanks a lot, guys. And then I'll have the recording up as well. If I have enough space, I think I might have to buy some more on my account. But you'll definitely also get the slideshow as well. And I'll add the animals to that before you get it. So, all right, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for your time, attention, and efforts, especially at the end of a long day. Okay, kudos to you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to talk to you guys for a second. And again, I kept you 13 minutes longer than I should have. So I will definitely reduce that next time when we meet on Wednesday. And so why don't I just show you right now? In fact, no, I'm going to just do a separate recording because I think that way I'm having space issues on my desktop. And actually in the Google Classroom, which is where you would actually see this video. Actually, that's not true. I can send the YouTube link if you want to watch this. So anyway, we'll go with that.